Hello and welcome to Nonprofit Times TV. I'm Randall Mauricio.
And I'm Tamara Furlansky. Coming up on today's webcast.
Revenue at top charities is down 4%.
Boston Salvation Army dumps the United Way.
And will less Jerry equal more money?
This episode is brought to you by Wealth Engine, a leading provider of prospect research and wealth identification solutions.
The latest NPT Top 100 listing finds public support for the nation's 100 largest nonprofits dipped 4% last year. YMCA of the USA raised $5.8 billion, earning the list's top spot. Rounding out the top 5 are Catholic Charities USA, United Way Worldwide, Goodwill Industries, and the American Red Cross. A rebound in the stock market and investments led to slightly higher overall revenue at organizations. Overall revenue needed to make the NPT 100 this year declined considerably for the first time in several years, from just under $179 million last year to a little more than $150 million. That's more than $28 million, or 16% of lost revenue. The NPT ranks organizations that raise at least 10% of their revenue from the public. For the complete list of top 100 organizations, visit nptimes.com.
For the second time in 10 years, the divisional commander of the Massachusetts branch of the Salvation Army has disaffiliated with the local chapter of United Way. Major William Bodie cites years of funding cuts as the reason behind the split, saying the Salvation Army's allocation has dropped annually from $1 million in 1990 to $171,000 next year. Bodie's used the same reason for disaffiliating back in 2004 with the Pennsylvania United Way. Michael Durkin, president of United Way of Massachusetts Valley and Merrimack Bay, was caught off guard by the Salvation Army's decision to disaffiliate, saying the local Salvation Army was slated to receive an 18% funding increase. Bodie says the organization is relying on the generosity of the public to make up for the funds it would have received through the partnership. Well, it's time for a quick break. In 20 seconds, we have a major change to a legendary event.
You can be a prospect research rock star. Wealth Engine's Find Wealth Research and Screening Solutions help you uncover the donors and prospects with the most promising major gift potential. Wealth Engine has helped thousands exceed their fundraising goals by identifying those with the wealth and propensity to give. See firsthand how Wealth Engine can help you meet your campaign goals and become a prospect research rock star.
In a move that's sure to disappoint the insomniacs who tune in at 3 a.m. to watch plate twirlers, the Muscular Dystrophy Association is cutting its 2011 legendary Labor Day telethon to 6 hours from its traditional 21.5 hours. During this year's event, the organization, headed by comedian Jerry Lewis, raised $58.9 million. MDA officials say viewership in recent years has not declined. In 2009, the telethon audience grew 2% over 2008 in the 54 measured markets. Numbers were even higher during prime time, with the audience growing by 9%.
Giving to religious causes is always the lion's share of giving in the United States. But in 2009, giving to religion saw a slightly less than 1% decline, which of course was less than the broader sector's 7%. Religious charities are being called on more and more and compete for funding while providing services like their secular cousins. Now, we caught up with William Wildy, Director of Funds Development and Marketing for Church World Service at the recent Convio Summit 2010 in Baltimore. Thanks for joining us, Bill.
Thank you for having me here, Tamara. It's good to be here.
Giving to religious organizations has always outstripped donations to secular causes, but now we are starting to see softness in religious giving. Is it more than just a difficult economy, or are religious groups, because of certain services, being seen as more secular?
It's hard to say at this point. The economy makes it very difficult to judge what's impacting things. Yes, religious organizations are involved in a lot of different services, but they're not involved in that many services that they weren't involved in before. So if you look at an organization like Church World Service, we're still doing humanitarian relief, the same type that we were doing before. We're still grounded in our faith, but we're not a non-proselytizing agency. So we're no different than we were before in terms of the way that we do our work. But we're finding it extremely difficult in certain places to get the kind of gifts that you need to get.
A large element of church world service is resettlement of refugees in the United States. Is that more of a challenge given the dangerous world we have become and new U.S. immigration policies?
Yeah, it is more difficult. We are involved right now actually in pushing for comprehensive immigration reform within the U.S. But I can also say that this past year we resettled more refugees than we've resettled in probably any year in the past decade.
Thanks, Bill. Now, to see his predictions for 2011, go over to NPT TV's video library by clicking on the tab above this player.
All right, thanks for joining us today, and remember to sign up for our email alert so you will never miss a webcast.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.